get to where they want to be as far as, their finances are concerned, because you have to start with your mindset, right? So drop a 1 in the comments if you're watching this live, drop a 2 if you are new to my live, and drop a 3 if you're watching the replay, and I really appreciate it. So here we go, 10 minutes. So hello, YouTube. Thank you for finally coming on. So talking about mastering your finances through budgeting strategies for debt repayment, right? So what do you do first? First, um, hey girl, I haven't seen you in a while. I appreciate your support. So first thing that you do is prioritize your debt. So you take a close look at your debts, including credit cards, outstanding balances. You identify the debts with the highest interest, right? And prioritize paying those first. Usually kind of obvious, but not obvious to a lot of people. So by focusing on the higher interest debts, you can save significant money in the long run. So that's what your purpose is. So for example, if you have a credit card that is 20% interest rate, which is very high, okay, and a student loan of 5% interest rate, allocate more of your budget to the credit card by paying off that debt and making, minimum payments to your student loans. So with the credit cards, you should always know what your interest rate is. A lot of people don't even pay attention to that. I've spoken to a lot of people who don't even know their credit card interest rates. It's on your credit card statement. And I know it just be a pieces of mail. And if you get it electronically, you're definitely not looking at your credit card statement. I already know. A lot of times you just pay the bill. But you have to learn the rules of the game of paying your credit cards, right? It's all on the algorithm. So you need to know these important dates, your reporting date that they report to the credit reporting agencies. You need to know your statement date and your due date. A lot of times your due date is before they or is after when they report to the credit reporting agency. So you need to make sure you know exactly when their reporting date is. And if they claim they can't tell you, hang up, call back, ask somebody else, escalate it to a supervisor, whatever you got to do. But they are obligated to tell you. But in an instance, you can kind of figure it out. If you know your credit card statement date, then you can figure it out during that time by looking at when it starts and when it ends. And you need to make your payments in between then. And usually it's 2 or 3 days after your statement date is when they report it. So you need to make sure that you are allocating more money to the higher interest debt to pay that off faster, because of the fact that it's costing you more money. 20% interest, 28%, a lot of these credit cards are, because they know that you have a lower credit score and you need them. So they're going to be predators towards you. So they're going to make you have higher debts in a sense. So you need to make sure that you understand how to play the game. So allocating more money to that one, and also knowing how much is your interest payment per, if they do it per month or do they allocate it per day? Because a lot of places allocate your, and what I mean by allocate is they charge you interest daily. Some of them just charge you monthly. So you need to know what your daily interest payment is or your monthly interest payment is, or however they do it. So then you'll know exactly what that extra payment needs to be. Because your minimum is basically paying the interest. That's it. So knowing how much your total interest payment is, plus doubling that will help you pay down that debt faster. So another strategy is to implement a debt snowball or debt avalanche method. So the debt snowball method involves you paying off your smaller debts first, if you're more comfortable with that, while making minimum payments on the larger ones. I like doing the top down because you have more money when you do it, and you pay off the smaller ones faster. If you do the snowball method, which goes up, you go smaller to big to largest, then it takes you a little bit longer. But it all depends on how disciplined you are. And you have to be disciplined during this process. So once the smallest debt is paid off, you roll that payment into tackling the next smallest debt. So that same payment that you was making from that smaller debt, you take it to the next one, and you use that same payment because you're not missing it, and pay that plus whatever you were paying minimum for that debt. And then you just move that money up continuously. Now, on the other hand, the debt avalanche method, you focus on the highest paying debt and, I should say the highest interest debt, regardless of the balance. So you choose that. So you basically say, for instance, if you have a credit card that's 2,500 and you owe 2,500 and your interest rate is 20%, that's the one that you tackle first. So if your minimum payment is like $80, I would double that. I would do 160. And then once you do that, you take that same extra $80 that you were paying on that and keep that minimum the same. Keep that $80 regardless of just keep that $80. And then take the other 80 and put it on the next debt plus whatever you were paying for the minimum because you're not missing it. And then you just snowball it down. I mean, you avalanche it down. So you just choose the method that works best for you. If you feel more comfortable starting at the bottom and then rolling it up to the largest, you do the same thing. It's just in reverse. So you start with the smallest debt, you kind of double it. Whatever you double, you take that and put it on the next debt once you're finished, and then just keep moving it up from there because you're not missing that money. And you had to be disciplined during the time. And guess what? You will pay it off faster. Our company has a debt payoff method that's phenomenal. If you need something more in your face and like you can really see it and see the payments and everything, you should definitely tap into our system because we got a whole financial system. So in a sense, with the last thing that you have to do, because in order for you to be able to have some extra money after you're looking at your budget, because you have to do that budget first, mindset has to change that there is a problem, knowing your relationship with money. Second is doing your budget, knowing what's going in and coming out, from the things that are non-negotiable to your children, because they are a bill, to eating, out at restaurants, whatever activities that you feel like you're doing, all the subscriptions, all that needs to be included in there. And then you can see where you can cut back for a little bit. You only got to do it for a little while and to make some adjustments. So that's the last tip I'm going to give you, is adjusting your spending habits. I know that's a tough one because I'm a spender. Okay. I used to spend everything I had. Okay. You have to create yourself a surplus. And what that means, you have to have something left over after you pay all of the bills. Now, you're supposed to pay yourself first and foremost. So whatever form that is, you adjust your spending habits by paying yourself first. If you feel like you can sacrifice and don't pay yourself, do that. But you still have to have some self-care in there, whatever that looks like. So, and paying yourself first can also be investing your money as well. So you take a deep dive into your spending habits and identify areas where you can cut back. That's basically what you're doing. This might mean dining out less frequently. Those of us that buy groceries and then go out and pay for food. Reducing some subscription services. I went without cable for a minute before I bought my home in 2010. I went without cable. I had to keep the internet, and I'm a TV junkie. I love TV. I love all the shows. The P Valleys and the all of those different shows and stuff like that. I haven't watched as much TV as I had. I'm doing a lot of studying right now, but then I did cut back on that, and I just made sure that I was able to watch my sports, but that was it. Because I was paying like $200 in cable fees. That was a lot of money. So I decided to cut back on that. And then you just find more cost-effective, alternatives. You might have to change your grocery store. You might have to, start using more coupons or finding those discounts or whatever. You just have to be more strategic. So you redirect your money you save towards your debt payment. So once you do the debt payment, then, once you do your budget, you can see where you can cut back. Then you allocate that excess money to your debt payment. And remember, every dollar counts. So for instance, if you typically spend $100 per month on dining out, consider cooking more at home, right? And allocate $100 paying off debt instead, or choose one day a week to go out instead of 5 or every meal. A lot of people eat 2-3 times a day out, and that can be like, depending on what you eat, I guess, between you spending at least $30 to $100 per day eating out. So just be mindful of that. So once again, my 3 tips for your debt repayment after you do your budget, is prioritizing your debt. Okay, knowing what is the problem, where are you bleeding the most, what is the highest interest, what is the highest balance, which one should you focus on first, which one is going to take you the longest to pay off. Start there first, because of the fact that you can pay it off quicker if you apply some of these methods. Secondly, either use a snowball effect where you start at the bottom of your smaller debts and then roll it up to your larger debts, or you start with the larger one and avalanche it down to your smaller debts. For me, avalanche method works best because you can do it faster. That's why it's avalanche. A snowball, you got to roll and roll and roll. Okay. All of that. So make sure that you understand what method works best for you. If you're not as disciplined to do the avalanche method, try the snowball method where you just double your payments of your smaller debts first and then move that whatever you pay and double to that next one plus the minimum. And then take that, move it up to the next. You will see the changes, okay? And learning how to use your credit cards correctly. That's another subject for a different day. And then the last thing is adjust your spending habits. You might have to cut back on some things just for a little bit. What is a small sacrifice for the life that you want to live? I love TV, and I had to sacrifice cable to buy my home at one point. So that's what I did. I decided to sacrifice that, and I became a homeowner within 10 months. I paid off some debt. I had the money saved, and I used the incentives because even then, in 2010, when I bought my home, I had incentives as a teacher. So they have first-time home buyer incentives, but if you are in a specialized area like first responders, teachers, doctors, they got all types of specified loans for people. They're giving this money away. So we leaving money on the table because we don't have our finances on the table. And it's just not real estate. I'm in the real estate, but that's starting your business. Because if your personal finances are not in alignment, your business finances are not going to be in alignment. So you need to do all that you need to do for your personal, so it reflects in your business, so that you can build your business off your personal. And once you build your business up to that 85 score, then you don't have to worry about your personal no more. But till then, you have to get that personal up. So just making those adjustments. So let me just say, I know you're ready to take control of your financial future. Start by creating a budget tailored to your income and expenses. First and foremost, prioritize your debt repayment using the strategies I just discussed, and watch your financial goals become reality. So don't hesitate to start today. If you need help in this area, our company definitely assists people with budgeting, debt payoff, savings, credit repair, estate planning, all of that, credit monitoring. We have what you need. So definitely tap in. You can send me a message. You can DM me the word assist, or you can put assist in the comments. Some of you have my phone number. You can send me a text or give me a call. So just let me know how I can help and how I can help your family and your friends as well, because caring is sharing, or sharing is caring. Yes, said it backwards. Sharing is caring. So share this message with whoever you feel like will need it. I will love. I got you, Queen. I would love to assist. So have a blessed day.